Thank you very much, Alessandra and Fiona, for the invitation today. I'm very happy to be here again. So my name is Asimina Pantazi, and I am one of the business development managers at the Cell and Gene Therapy Catapult. I'm responsible for UK North, which includes Manchester and the wider region. And today I would like to give you a brief introduction to the Catapult, the work that we do, and specifically how we support and work with academics and how we help them commercialize their research. So for those of you that you haven't heard about us before, the Cell and Gene Therapy Catapult is a not-for-profit organization that is established by the UK government, and it's funded by Innovate UK. And our vision is to advance the cell and gene therapy sector in the UK and beyond. And we do this through establishing collaborations with several stakeholders in order to tackle certain challenges that the developers are facing within the field of cell and gene therapy. At the Catapult right now, we are approximately 400 people with expertise in a range of areas, covering all aspects of developing a new advanced therapeutic. We offer access to this range of capabilities that we have internally through our collaborations in order to help tackle the challenges in the sector. We are part of a wider network of catapults that also includes the Medicines Discovery Catapult, and we all work independently. We are different entities, but we collaborate with each other as our mission is really common to help innovation, to help de-risk innovation and innovative strategies in order to drive investment that will ultimately create jobs, enable trade, and bring prosperity in the UK. So you can see here on this slide that the support that we offer spans across the development journey of a new therapy from late research and discovery, just before preclinical studies, all the way to clinical adoption. And we collaborate with the wider ATMP, as we call it, Advanced Therapy Medicinal Product sector, from patients and carers to product developers, being universities, academics, startups, SMEs, mid and large pharmas, as well as we collaborate with technology suppliers and service product providers, being CROs, CDMOs, and supply chain companies as well as with regulators. We collaborate with regulatory bodies, and we also help to shape the regulatory framework in the UK. The Catapult works in areas that we have identified that are of high need in the sector of cell and gene therapy. And what we want to do is to support inward investment, to support the development of new innovative therapies. We are looking at supporting the development of more efficient and scalable manufacturing technologies. We're looking at improving the supply chain services, enhancing patient access to those therapeutics, and to also support employment in the sector through our skills and training programs. And we have a range of capabilities and expertise in-house, ranging from lab-based services, what we call the technology and process innovation teams, that are looking at how we can improve bioprocess control, how can we enable the development of more innovative cell engineering approaches. And an area of particular focus at the moment at the Catapult is the stem cell derived therapeutics and viral vectors, with a particular emphasis on AAV gene therapies. And we are developing platforms for development of those therapeutics, which we can offer to our collaborators to use and develop their own processes to let their own take into manufacturing. We have preclinical and clinical expertise. We also have regulatory expertise and health economics and market access, which I'm going to come back to that a bit later. Just before that, I wanted to mention, in terms of facilities, we have at the moment 4 main sites. In London, we have our technology and process innovation laboratories on the 12th floor at Guy's Hospital. which is basically the teams that are working on process development and analytical characterization, as well as our viral vector teams. And those teams are focusing at the earlier stages of process development. Whereas in Edinburgh, which is our newest facility, which will be operational from next year, actually, we're still growing the team. We will have teams that are focusing at the later stages of process development and scale up. We also have two manufacturing centers, one in Stevenage and one in Braintree, that are slightly different to each other. The one in Stevenage, which is bigger and the oldest one, but bigger one, we have 12 clean room modules that we can offer to our collaborators to come and manufacture their products, but they have to bring their staff and equipment. What we offer is the space, the infrastructure, and the QC capacity. Whereas in Braintree, we would work more collaboratively and together with the therapy developer that aims to manufacture, with the aim to that they will become more autonomous later in time. So here I have tried to map our different capabilities across the development path of a new therapy. And most academics, maybe not yourselves, but many of you might be at that stage, at the early stage of research and discovery. You may have a great idea or perhaps some in vitro data or an in vivo model data. And what we can do is to help you to take you from that stage all the way to clinical adoption step by step by offering access to several capabilities. For example, and these are just examples really, we have non-clinical expertise. What does that mean? We can help you to develop a clear vision of your medical product. We can help you to develop a strategy for your preclinical studies, and also the actual preclinical study design for your safety and toxicology and biodistribution studies. We can link you to CROs that will carry out the in vivo studies for you. We have regulatory and clinical expertise. So at that stage, we can support with the design of the clinical trials. We can support with the filing for a clinical trial application to help you to speak to the MHRA or other regulatory authorities to help you to obtain certain approvals that may be required or licenses. Also, our regulatory as well as the health economics and market access teams can support you to really understand what is the regulatory roadmap of your product. As I said earlier, to really help you to speak to the MHRA, present to the MHRA your preclinical development plans and gain their feedback on your developments. There is also the iLab scheme available that we can support you to enroll, which is a scheme that enables conversation from a very early point in your development with a group of regulatory bodies, and provides the opportunity for regular touch points across your development path. But if you want to know more about the iLab scheme, I can provide that information at the one-to-one sessions. And also the health economics team and health economics and market access team can help you develop your health economics model. What does that essentially mean is to know from a very early stage of your development that your therapeutic has a commercial potential that is going to be reimbursed, and to really understand what is the target population you should be aiming for, what are the patients that would really benefit from your therapy, and that in a way that there's going to be an economic, that your product will be economically sustainable. And that's very important to know very early on in the development. Otherwise, there may be no point developing the therapeutic if it's not going to make it to clinic. Very early on, we also advise starting to understand what your process will be, and our teams can help you to come up with a plan, start designing the process, and even develop a high-yielding, scalable, and GMP-compliant process that you will then transfer to a CDMO or contract development manufacturing organization to manufacture it for you, or come at the Catapult site to do it. So this is just a few examples of the support we can provide, but of course it's tailored to the specific needs of each project. And I just wanted to mention here that we also run investable opportunity clinics at the Catapult, which is a very unique program for those academics that are looking to spin out a company. And what we can do is bring representatives from the several teams from different backgrounds at the Catapult together with you in a meeting, half-day meeting, and discuss your data to date and your future plans. And they can recommend, they can identify what are the gaps in your research and recommend what further needs to be done in order to attract investment to turn your research into a spin-out company. On that slide, I just wanted to show you this schematic, which I borrowed from a tool that was published by the ABPI, the Association for British Pharmaceutical Industry, with input from teams from the Cell and Gene Therapy Catapult. And it's actually an interactive tool. I cannot show you here, but you can scan the QR code, and I really encourage you to download it. And it shows what are the key considerations throughout the development path of a new advanced therapy, all the way from non-clinical research up here, all the way to delivering this treatment to the patient. And you can click on each of those stages and really understand what are the considerations that you need to keep in mind, and what are the steps that you need to take to bring your therapeutic to the clinic. And with the from a Catapult perspective, we can support you throughout most of those stages. So it's a really nice tool, and I really recommend you visit it. And how do we work with academia? It's very similar to the model that was presented by the Medicines Discovery Catapult earlier today. We have the standard fee-for-service model, which is basically, if you have the funding available, you can discuss with us, identify the areas we can support you with, and we can deliver the work, and you pay us through your funding that is currently available. This might not be the case. Funding is not easy to find, but it ensures a very quick delivery at time-sensitive projects. The most common way of working with academics is through grant collaborations. So basically, we identify a grant opportunity that you may be eligible for, and we can co-apply as collaborators, or simply support your applications as, let's say, subcontractors. And once the grant is successful, we will deliver a part of the work as agreed at the application stage. There is waiting time involved, as with any grant opportunity. You need to plan ahead and long-term often, but it is often highly rewarding also. And here is just an example of a few grant schemes under which we work, and there's a lot more. This is just a few examples. And I would like to highlight this opportunity by Translational Manchester at the moment, the access to expertise. It's a small pot of money, but it can be really beneficial for you as a starting point to help you perhaps understand your preclinical strategy, the regulatory requirements, speak to the MHRA, or understand the market for your product. And we can discuss about that later on at the one-to-ones. And there is also a third way, which is a bit more particular. We often form collaborations where there is a contribution from the Catapult in the form of in-kind support. So we can do some free work, but these projects have to be very unique in the sense that we have to be sure that they address key challenges that the wider sector is facing, or that they help us as a Catapult to advance our own capabilities to then later on benefit the wider industry. And before finishing, I would like to take you through a couple of case studies which are examples of how we have worked previously with academics and how we supported them in their commercialization journey. So this is an example with the University of Edinburgh. There was this academic group that were developing a macrophage therapy for liver cirrhosis, and they were moving towards clinical trials. So they worked with us to using funds from an existing grant. So that was like a fee-for-service model, transactional relationship. And we help them through conducting market access assessment for the therapy to understand the economics of the therapeutic. We help them to build the economic model and understand what is the reimbursement potential of the therapy before bringing it to first-in-human trial. And we also provided regulatory and non-clinical support to fine-tune their non-clinical preclinical program before moving to clinical trials. Otherwise, there was a risk that their clinical trial application wouldn't even be authorized. And another example is work we did with the University of Sheffield with an academic doing research in auditory stem cells. That academic actually formed a spin-out company to develop a stem cell therapy for reversing hearing loss. And this is a different way of working with them. We worked as partners under a grant application, an Innovate UK grant. We helped them secure basically 3 million. That was a lot of money. And the work we're currently doing under this grant is to help them develop a GMP compliant process for developing their product. And as soon as this project is finished, they will be able to transfer that process to a CDMO to manufacture the material at scale for the clinical trials. And this is my last slide, it's just numbers really showing the impact that we're delivering in the sector. And I have circled this figure here that says we are working with, we have worked in the last year with 25 universities, so we're really active in the UK, and you can just see all the numbers and how the industry is growing in the UK. And I think that you should feel, those of you working in this sector, the cell and gene therapy sector, should feel really privileged to be in the UK right now. The industry is growing so rapidly. There is a lot of support. It's an amazing time and place to be, as the UK is the largest cell and gene therapy cluster outside the US. So I look forward to discussing with you later. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to take them now. And you can also scan this QR code, which is going to automatically direct you to sending me an email for a follow-up call. Thank you very much.